Welcome back, everybody, to another fantastic episode of the Every Pokemon Episode Ever podcast, or if you follow us on social media, EPEEP for short. I am one of your hosts today. There's two of us, by the way. Wrestling Chris G. And on the other line with me, he's the one that sparks all the fire. It's good old Dougie Fresh. Dougie, man, how you doing?
I'm good. Have you ever thought about just like recording your intro one time and just putting it in?
No, because you get a new nickname every single
Well, no, but I mean the whole every poke EP.
week. You can't.
There's a reason I don't do the intro on this show.
It's hard. Once you do it about 30 times, which this is episode 30. So once you do it about 30 times, it kind of rolls off the
Yeah.
tongue. You're like, yeah, you can do it. So yes, everybody, this is episode 30. And if you clicked on this episode is called Sparks Fly for Magnemite, or translated from Japanese, Do Coil Dream of Electric Mice.
I like the translation for I think maybe the first time ever.
Oh, really?
Because
Okay.
it's a takeoff of a novel by Philip K. Dick. Do androids dream of electric sheep?
Oh,
And
never heard of
well, it's
it. I'm not downing you or anything. I just never. I read a lot of books, but I never heard of
well. Let me throw something out at you, and it might pique you a little bit.
that. Okay.
This dude, this Philip K. Dick, is responsible for the Blade Runner novels.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. So, all right.
and
I fuck with me some
this
Blade Runner.
I was gonna say in this novel, elements are taken from this novel and turned into the original 1982 film, and then obviously the subsequent sequel from a couple years ago.
Oh, so is that the background from this episode as you were watching it?
No, I think that was just a nice take on the title,
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
uh, which I didn't know until I started doing some digging, mainly to get the city they were in, and then like the translation was on top of this Pokey Wiki page, and I was like, "Get the fuck out of here! I've heard of this," and then I had to Google, and then I was like, "That's where I heard it."
So, yes, this episode aired. Thank you for that, by the way, Doug. Um, this episode aired in Japan October 21st, 1997, and here in the States, October 16th, 1998. So, literally a year and a week apart from airing.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting.
It's very interesting. I think we're gonna get next week. Yeah, it's the same next week too, as I'm looking at this right now. So um I have some I guess I can say news. I mean, but obviously it's a little bit of older news, but because I mean I feel like I'm not gonna be able to kind of backtrack in any older episodes, but um as we're recording this, this is December 7th, 2020. And for people that are actually listening to our show as we speak, we re released our audio as remasters. So, I mean, obviously, you're like, whoa, that was like 2 months ago. I'm listening to this. Yeah, I know, but that just shows how far in advance we are into recording these. So we are going to be pumping the brakes, I think, sometime as of next week to try to stay somewhat current. But we'll talk about that often, right, Doug?
Well, if you wanted to, you could always take this and put it into the to the episode that's going to drop on the. I'm looking up what next Saturday is for fuck's sake.
Oh, what the next episode is?
Well, no, I'm saying you could take the whole remaster announcement and put it in front of the episode for December 11th
Oh, yes.
or the 12th rather.
Yeah, for the Ghost of Maiden's Peak. Yeah, I could do that.
because I mean that would be the most current. Because that people they saw the whole catalog go back up along with Tentacool and Tentacruel.
And
This
oh, I'm sorry.
no, I was gonna say it was this past weekend, and it seemed. And I'm curious as to why there was such a big jump because I'm assuming a good majority of y'all have been following along with us, and there was no new information. It was just a little bit cleaner audio.
Yes.
So I'm not mad at it. Obviously, it was just a little.
It was weird. Like, okay, so for our podcast, I mean, we have our niche fans, but with us re-uploading all of our 18 past episodes and then re-up and then uploading our new one later on that day, because I think all of our episodes ended up dropping between 3 a.m. and 8 a.m., which 8 a.m., if you normally listen to our show, is when our new episode goes out. So all of you start going and clicking that download button. But for some reason, with when we put all of these new episodes out, it's like y'all just went click happy and was like, "Oh, what do they mean remaster? What is this?" But I mean, not only did you download, but you listened, and you listened to these episodes. So I want to applaud everyone for sticking with us, and I'm glad you like the cleaner audio. And I'm doing my best now to where we don't ever have to do that again. So every single episode will sound like those episodes. But I mean, it jumped our numbers up for the weekend, Doug. We did the best. This past weekend, for one day, we have done the best numbers in an entire week so far. So everything else that is happening this week is just coin.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm happy to see it. And I mean, a little goal of mine was to get our first episode, Pokemon I Choose You, episode 1, was to get that to 200 by the end of the year. I mean, that's going to get obliterated. I
Yeah.
would hope. I mean, unless something dramatically slows down here in the next couple weeks. And then I guess the new target now is 2,000 total.
Yes. So me and you have set a goal, Doug. So I'm gonna do a little math here while we're on the air, and I
This
hope
is funny too because this is irrelevant by the time it's going out because obviously it's goddamn almost end of February.
fact facts. So okay. So I'm gonna go back to our very first episode, all the way to today, and I'm gonna hit that submit button. It's loading the statistics. All right, I'm gonna click on downloads. At least I think I'm going to click on downloads. There we go. All right. All right. So as we speak right now, and I'm not scrolling down yet, Doug, but as we speak right now, episode 1 is still getting some downloads, the original, because we're at 190 so
Hey, all right, good shit.
far. Okay. So if I scroll down and the remaster is 10 or above, you hit your 200 mark, Doug.
And I can quit the show.
So I'm scrolling. All right, remaster. All right, where is episode what? Oh shit!
You're gonna tell me it's fucking at 8, aren't you?
It's at 7.
Ah,
So by the time so we literally have 3 weeks for episode 1 for us to gain 3 more fans to listen to that episode.
yeah. I mean, really.
And watch it just stick at
If it sticks at
197.
199, you're gonna know because I'm not gonna be around anymore.
You're gonna go and fucking listen to that shit just to get the extra one.
You're gonna notice a big spike at like 11:55 on fucking New Year's Eve.
You're gonna ask me. You're gonna be like, so what are we sitting at? I was like, You're not gonna believe it, but we're at 199. You're like, no, we're not.
Hold on.
You're gonna hit that play button and just have it play in the background somewhere. But yes, we literally need three more episodes for that. But
Good
what
stuff.
what's even more surprising, Doug, is Beauty and the Beach. It the remaster. I mean, it's climbing. I'm not going to give all of our statistics, everybody, but um, our last episode prior to Tentacool and Tentacruel, like right now as we speak, Tentacool and Tentacruel and Beauty and the Beach are like neck and neck. So they're like fighting with each other as to who's going to win at the end of this week. So it's pretty interesting. I like looking at numbers.
It's weird because, and I mean, I've said as much off mic, but like the episodes that I think have the most heft behind them, the Ash Catches a Pokemon trilogy, um, Electric Shock Showdown was really heavy. Um,
Do you want me to go on like record and tell you what our top 10 episodes are as of this recording?
no, we don't need to do that here.
It'll just make you mad.
Yeah, and I like this episode. I don't want to down the episode by proxy.
Gotcha. Okay. So, but yeah, me and you speak off air, and we're just like, wow, how come this episode didn't get as much love as this episode? Why the fuck is Clefairy? Okay, okay. I
Well, you did that one to yourself.
Yes, I did. So Clefairy is in our fucking top 10. It's number 8. And it's the episode that I fucking hate. So it's like all of you were like, okay, we gotta listen to this episode. Let's give this episode some love because we love Clefairy. And I like Clefairy too. I just don't like that damn episode. And I gotta stare at it now in my fucking top 10. Man. But okay. All right. Enough about numbers. I find our numbers very, very interesting. And that's what I was doing. So we're trying to hit 2,000 by the end of the year. Okay.
Right.
So currently, right now, we have 1,683 downloads.
Right.
So we need 317 downloads from today by the end of the year in order to meet our 2,000 download mark.
Once again, I would like to remind people listening to this for the first time, um, thank you for sticking with us. Obviously, these numbers are irrelevant to you completely.
Yes.
Um,
But it just shows our fan base.
yeah, no, and I don't have any doubt that we're going to get there because we've got 3 more episodes, or 2 more.
We have 3 more episodes for episode 1.
Well, no,
So
I'm saying in general, like how many more episodes do we have to go out this month?
this month we have 2 more episodes in the movie.
2 more episodes, and then the movie comes out on the 26th.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't think we're gonna have problems. I forgot about the movie. If we didn't have the movie, it'd be close, but I think that our movie's gonna get a lot of clicks.
I think so too. So, but yeah, let's hope we meet that mark. You'll know within our next few recordings whether we hit that mark or not. So, because I'm either gonna be very very happy or I'm gonna be highly highly sad.
I tell you what. I tell you what. If you'll know if we hit it or not by whether or not Wrestling Chris G records a special message to be put in front of the movie release on the 26th. It's either going to be thank you for helping us get to 2,000 or use these remaining 5 days to help us get to 2,000.
So okay, and you're gonna call me cheap for doing this, but and obviously everybody out there already knows.
They're going, that's the fucking episode.
Get to the episode already. But you want to know what I did and I put into the feed, Doug?
What did you do?
I put the first 9 minutes and 40 something seconds of our movie episode um, as a preview.
Oh, you would have cartooned him.
Yes. So I put that. I put the preview to drop the week prior. So it's gonna drop
Oh, you cheap bugger. Because you're going
Yes.
to count that, aren't you?
I mean, they're clicks, they're downloads. But but that wasn't the reason I did that. I did
Bullshit.
that I did that because it's our first movie and I want to celebrate it and I want to get as many people to listen to that episode as we can.
Translation, I want to get as many people to click on that preview and get interested.
Oh man, that preview better get some damn fucking clicks.
No, it's not a bad idea, obviously. I mean, I make jokes, but it's not, I mean, obviously what a cartoon releases, like 30 to 40 minutes of their movies on the free feed every month.
Yes, but you
And
can
that's just about the history, that's not even getting into the movie nitty-gritty. That's just the history of how the studio came to be or how the project came to be.
yeah, and where I stopped it was I stopped it right before we started doing our history review.
Oh,
So,
good shit. Okay.
so they will not be able to hear the history review on that day. So you actually have to listen to that episode. But I did have everything leading up to it, us talking about it, the kind of history and stuff. I figured it was nice to put out there, so they'll get to listen to the first 9 minutes of the 2 hour plus podcast. Yes, everybody, it's 2 hours and some odd minutes, but you already know that because you already listened.
Yeah, you already listened. It's probably on the top of our charts.
Or if you're new to this podcast, go back and listen and jump those numbers up for 2021.
Who starts a new podcast at what's this, episode 30?
Well, according to our feed, a lot of people started our episode on episode 9. So I can throw my arms up because number 9 is the second most listened show that we have.
Yeah, that's true too.
So I'm pretty sure people are picking and choosing what episodes they're listening to.
Well, and that's fair. I guess I didn't anticipate. Um, just because we were going chronologically doesn't mean if somebody's like, oh, I really don't like freaking Mystery at the Lighthouse. I'll see him next week.
Yeah. So I mean, I think honestly I think it's pretty weird because episode 9 is actually one of our most listened to remastered episodes. So apparently a lot of people like School of Hard Knocks.
And I think I've because I've been thinking about that for a while. Um, I think that has to do with like the meta ness of the episode. Because we start the episode and they've got the kid on the treadmill and he's holding up the Pidgey card and or I can't remember. He calls it a Pidgey. It might not be a Pidgey. It's a he's got a card
Yes.
and obviously right before they battle in the computer lab, kid's got the essentially red and blue up because he's going through his simulation. So I think it's kind of like, hey, we're aware that this other shit is here. Buy the other shit.
Yes. So and like we said, that's the episode where they're legit selling Pokemon Red, Blue, and Green to you.
Right.
If you like this episode, you'll love this game. Buy this game.
Yeah. Buy the Nintendo and buy this game.
And okay, so it's time. I did have something else to speak about, but I might speak about it on the next episode. It just has to do with Game Boy nostalgia. Unless you feel like I have an extra 5 minutes.
I don't think we do anymore. I think we went into admin
Yeah, we did.
a little bit.
So, okay, let's go ahead and get into this episode. So, as we stated before, this episode premiered here in the States on October 16th, 1998, and we're going to give a historical review for this date, not the year. And Dougie Fresh loves to go back in those history books, so of course he's going first again this week. So, Dougie, man, what do you have for us this week?
Yes, everything is right in the world. I'm kicking things off like I should be. So on this date in 1923, Disney Brothers Cartoon Studio is founded. Now, I'm going to just be short and sweet and to the point. This is what we now know as Walt Disney Animation Studios. which has basically made all your favorite movies from your childhood.
The Lion King.
There's 56 feature length films that have been released as of this recording, and your little bit
Out of
of
that studio?
yes,
Holy shit.
and your little bit of homework that I implored you not to look up beforehand,
Okay.
and only you will know if you did or didn't,
Yes.
but I trust you.
Okay.
What was the first Walt Disney animated movie?
The first. Oh, I do know this, and no, I'm not looking it up. It's it's one with a girl. Hold on.
Attaboy, that narrows it down.
I know. Fuck, cause me and Jordan just watched this movie the other day. Um, fuck. People are screaming into their into their phone right now. How do you not know this?
Well,
Uh,
people are also looking it up too.
yeah, they are. So, all right, I'm gonna throw my hands up because I know we just watched this not too long ago on Disney Plus. But Doug, I'm gonna say I do not know.
Snow White.
No White. Okay. Yes. And we did just watch. Actually, no, we didn't just watch it. Me and Jordan was talking about because we just rode the roller coaster at Disney World.
Yeah. That was Snow White was released on December 21st, 1937. So we're coming up on
The
that
anniversary.
anniversary. I'm not going to do math because I'm not good at it on the fly. And right after that was my favorite movie, Pinocchio.
Really? Pinocchio was the second Disney movie?
Mm-hmm. February 7th, 1940. So they were kind of cranking them out.
Yeah, they were.
So since I'm here,
Okay.
and since I think this will be a little bit easier of a question, what was the most recent Walt Disney animated film to be released?
Oh, jeez. You would put me on the spot for that. And I probably watched as of today, people, December 7th, 2020, because there's a few coming out by the time
Well, I
this.
can I can tell you this. Well, no, I can't because I would probably give it to you. So I'm going to shut up.
Um, the most recent Disney animated movie. Well, it's not Mulan because that was a live action movie.
There you go.
Um, they had to go straight to in home. Hmm. Quarantine has not been good to me 'cause I've watched so many movies. I swear to you, and I tell you this all the time. I've watched so many damn movies. I don't know, Doug.
Frozen 2.
Get the fuck out of here. There's been a movie since Frozen 2. There has to have.
Not theatrically released.
Oh, theatric. Okay. I was about to say, I was like, I know the hell Disney Plus brought out um a new like cartoon movie. Actually, I'm pretty curious right
Yeah,
now.
it was
Let's see.
freaking what was it? It was
Disney.
Onward, I think. Or no, that well then
No,
no,
that
that was Pixar.
well, it still came out in theaters. Movie. Let's see. Disney movies 2020.
Well, no, I mean you got to go Walt Disney you got to go animated studios. You know, you just can't Walt Disney because that's going to bring up a whole nother list.
Oh, okay. So Over the Moon doesn't count?
No.
Okay. You said, well, it says on here Onward was made by Walt Disney and Pixar.
Well, right, but this is just Disney.
Gotcha. What about Phineas and Ferb?
No.
Okay, well, yeah, you're right.
Well, I don't know if I'm right. I'm just looking at a Wikipedia article. I don't.
Yeah, man, we can hold Wikipedia accountable for so much because just for our movie review, it told us two different numbers. So,
Right.
But okay, so on my historical date, mine just happened in 2019. And on this date in 2019, the TV series Stranger Things was named TV series of the year. So, and that followed right behind the original movie of Sandra Bullock's Bird Box, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about Stranger Things. I love me some freaking Stranger Things.
You want to know a fun fact?
What's your fun fact, Doug?
Never seen it.
Oh, yes, I know. I actually know that because I brought it up to you and you said I have never seen it and I have no intention of watching
Yeah, because you were hunting. It was Christmas or birthday one year. You were like, "What do you think of Stranger Things?" I was like, "Never seen it." And you're like, "Check."
it. I think it was Christmas last year. So, but all right. So you ready to dive into this episode, Doug?
I am.
All right. So we are now 26 minutes into this recording and we're now getting into the episode. And the episode is pretty straightforward. Um, I, before we get into it, I really do feel like they were just trying to send a message out about polluting
Yeah, I mean,
during this
because
episode.
they throw you right into it at the beginning, don't they?
Yeah, they do. So, all right. So I'm going to start this up right now, Doug. And here we go. So we start this episode off with a very grim looking setting. And basically, the, the gang walks into an abandoned town or what looks like it is an abandoned town. There's no lights, nobody's there, everybody's run out, and Ash and the gang are just walking around. And Misty goes, "Yeah, we are in Gringy City." So,
Gringy City, not Grimy City. Well, not because obviously that's the name of a poke, but Gringy. That's not even a word. I don't think.
no, it is not. So, so with that being said, yeah, they're in Gringy City. They don't see anything that's going, or they don't see anything around them because nothing's out. And then out of nowhere, Pikachu starts looking like Pikachu is drunk.
Well, now come on, that's not fair.
It
Um,
it does he
sh-
not look drunk like he's flopping back and forth like, hey, I had too much to drink.
well, now it's not fair because obviously we watched the episode, so we know the truth. But to be fair, it's got the anime red line under the eyes,
Yes,
which is either a signifier of being tired or being sick.
it does. It's either tired, sick, drunk, or horny.
Well,
But
yeah, this is true. Brock's had it about 17 times this season.
so at this point, we're just gonna go with Pikachu looks drunk at this point. But obviously Pikachu is sick, so
Yeah, and
Pikachu does not look good at all.
no, and it stumbles over and shock inadvertently shocks Ash, and then we see a mysterious shape come floating out of the shadows.
Which we know is Magnemite because it's in the title of the damn episode.
And
Sparks fly for Magnemite.
I was going to say, speaking of the title, then you get the card, and then you're thrown right into Ash running.
And he,
Presumably,
oh, I was gonna note that he has his famous pink rubber gloves.
yeah. So they must honestly live in the backpack.
Yes,
I mean, I don't. We haven't seen him since the pilot, so it's nice to know that he still got him. And they're running towards the Pokemon Center, which thankfully this town has one.
I know. And this Pokemon Center looks all sorts of abandoned. As they're running in, you get a shot from some cat eyes, which you zoom all the way down into the tunnel of where they're hiding. You get Team Rocket.
Right.
And
They're in the sewer because why wouldn't they be?
yeah, but what's funny about this scene is they're scoping, looking at the twerps as they're calling them, and they're trying to gather up what they're going to do to get Pikachu. and they see that everyone's running into the Pokemon Center. But Team Rocket starts doing their spiel, but they get caught off guard because, of course, they're in the sewer.
And it stinks.
And it just fucking stinks.
And, that's another kind of clever thing because a couple episodes ago, Meowth called out the cartoonist for not giving him a nose, so obviously our feline friend here is not affected.
No. So, and he's kind of, well, not even just that, but why does Meowth get like a little saucer to where he doesn't need the saucer. He can't fucking smell the
You're not
damn
wrong. I didn't even think of that.
he can't smell the damn sewer because he doesn't have a nose. So, but he's in a saucer and he's like, "What are you guys babbling about?" And fucking Jesse and James are throwing their arms up and down in tantrum form. Going, it fucking stinks down here. Why the hell are we down here? And Meowth basically goes, well, why the hell not?
And he goes, well, if you're so worried about the smell, why don't you put on the suits like we brought down here?
Because of course they have suits
So
that they brought down there that they did not put on prior to getting into the sewer because it's a fucking kids cartoon.
and they're the villain.
Yes,
Right.
because they're stupid.
Right.
And that's one of my favorite SpongeBob episodes, by the way. I just watched that last night because they're stupid.
Oh, okay.
Name that episode, Doug. Name that episode.
Oh, I don't know if I can name it by episode specifically, but is that Texas?
No, that's the episode where SpongeBob becomes a famous comedian and starts talking about squirrels and how dumb they are.
Oh, that might have been after I dropped off.
No, that was one of the first episodes. First season. That's like within the first like
Oh,
when he's
shit. Okay.
talking at the Krusty Krab and he's like, how many squirrels does it take to screw in a light bulb?
And everybody's laughing at the punchline, and Patrick's over there laughing at light bulb.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Like, cause they're stupid.
That's right. That's right. Okay. That has been a minute. Jiminy Christmas.
I know. They have a marathon every single night. I turn it on. The marathon starts at 10 o'clock and it ends at 4 a.m. So that's what's playing at night when I'm eating my ramen noodles if I'm
Gotcha.
hungry. So, but yeah, Team Rocket is inside of their suits now, and then they jump into the nasty muck and they just start swimming in it, which doesn't make any sense because they need to go up, not down. But again, they're stupid.
And I should also say that it's not like they jumped into the water by choice.
No, Meowth made them.
They were absolutely against it, but Meowth basically forced their hand, and as they're going down, James says, how come we have to do all the dirty work?
Okay, so after that, we go to a shot inside of the Pokemon Center, and Ash, Misty, and Brock are in there, and they're ringing the bell. And Ash is like, "Where the hell is Nurse Joy?" Bing, 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 bing. And out comes a sleeping Nurse Joy, and this, okay, I'm gonna laugh too much by saying this because of the lines that Ash has. You want to kind of sugarcoat, Doug, what happens in this scene?
So she comes out from the back, and she's yawning, and she's got one eye closed, and Ash goes, my Pikachu is sick, and Nurse Joy takes one look at poor Pikachu and says, oh, it's got a cold, and she starts to turn away. Ash goes, this is much more than a cold. Just look at Pikachu. And she goes, look at here. You see how the electricity is coming out of the electric sacs?
Yes, and yeah, she's like, yeah, you see that just means that it has a common code. It's common with electric type Pokemon. Pikachu will be okay. And then and Ash has a conniption and goes,
He goes, were you the oddball of the family?
Yeah, just full on. I'm sorry, but I need to ask you a question, and I'm sorry to offend you, but are you the oddball? And she goes, no, I'm not the oddball. All the rest of my other sisters are the oddball. And then fucking Brock, Misty, and Ash just have a dumb look on their face. I think this is the one and only time Brock has seen Nurse Joy and has not gotten a boner over
Well, I mean, that comes in a couple minutes, in
her.
kind of an indirect way.
Oh, does it?
But yeah, but Nurse Joy says, leave Pikachu here overnight, and I'll guarantee in the morning it'll be good as new. And then we cut back to the water that we saw at the beginning of the episode, and we see these purple blobs start rising out of the water and start um, jamming into the sewer grate.
Which we soon find out in the next scene that that sewer grate leads to the power source for the entire city, and
Yes.
these purple blobs have swam in there and basically shut off the electricity to flow throughout the entire city.
Yeah, there's a big jam, so anything electrical just completely shuts off. So the two guys that are in the control center are trying to get that to work, and then we cut immediately back to the sewer, and the breathing apparatus that Jesse and James are hooked through obviously stops working, and they sink, and then
Because the fucking machine stops working and Meowth is like, oh shit.
we're smacked right in the face because we go back to the Pokemon ICU, and we see some Pokemon that are being treated. We see a Growlithe for the first time.
Sparrow.
We see a Sparrow.
Let's see. What other Pokemon? We see a Sandshrew in
Yeah,
there.
Sandshrew.
See, I'm trying to see if we see any other Pokemon. But oh, and you're gonna kick yourself, Doug, for not bringing it up yet. But with seeing Nurse Joy in this episode, she has a purple cross on her forehead.
That
So
ain't purple for nothing.
that is purple.
That's not purple.
What is it? Fuchsia?
That's blue. No, fuchsia's red. That's blue if I've ever seen it.
Okay. It's like a light bluish purple.
Okay.
There you go. So,
And so we're smacked in the face with those, and then Nurse Nurse Joy's like, "Well, I got to get the power back on because I don't want to think what's going to happen to these Pokemon." And Ash and Misty kind of get up her butt. They're like, fucking figure it out yourself. And this is when Brock kind of has his moment. He's like, you leave Nurse Joy alone.
yeah, I mean, I guess that's his
I
way,
mean,
but
it's not as dramatic as other ones, obviously, but this was like his one moment where he's like, hey, shut up.
then we go straight from that to the Officer Jenny. This city out of all cities has a fucking Officer Jenny. What the hell do they need an Officer Jenny
Well, you got to police the pollution. I don't know.
But she has a different design on her head too. It's a diamond that has a cross in it, and it has red and yellow triangles on the hat. So
Yeah.
that's gonna signify the Officer Jenny of this town for people that's keeping track.
And we basically catch her mid conversation. She's like, I'm monitoring the situation as best as I can, and then they're like, where's the power plant? She's like, you can't miss it. It's the big building with the smokestacks.
And
And
they start running over or getting ready to run over there, and Pikachu walks out of the Pokemon Center and goes, "I want to go with you," basically.
Ash is like, Pikachu, you got to know you're not 100%. You should stay at the Pokemon Center. And Pikachu shakes its head, and then Misty kind of has an epiphany. She's like, it's kind of obvious what's happening. Pikachu thinks that we've left it at the Pokemon Center, and it's not, and we're not coming back for it, which is bullshit. when has Ash ever shown the quality to not come back or stick with, I guess, but it was only at the Pokemon Center for its own good.
I mean, for God's sakes, when in Electric Shock Showdown, Pikachu sat there and stayed at the Pokemon Center when it got fucking bashed with an electric attack from Raichu and then got super kicked in the face.
And Ash didn't move from it, so I don't understand where. Anyway, so eventually, against his better judgment, Ash gives in. Pikachu jumps in his arms, shocks him because it's sick.
And
And then
then,
we cut back to the sewer where Jesse and James are just gasping for air.
oh, but right before that, Doug, we get another glimpse
Oh
of that
yes,
of that Magnemite that's following them again.
yes, so we get another glimpse of its blue eye.
Yes,
But yeah, Jesse and James are gasping for air, and
because they almost fucking died.
it's,
and Meowth is just standing there looking grim, basically calling them stupid for going down there, even though he's the one that fucking told him to.
and as Meowth gets an idea because he sees our heroes go running by, and Meowth says, "Well, this is our chance." And James is like, "Our chance for what?" Our chance to finally grab that Pikachu.
So yeah, and fucking Jesse and James are looking like we just almost died, and you're thinking about capturing that Pikachu right now? Are you
Yeah,
stupid? So
yeah, yeah. You got to give us a break, for goodness sakes.
we just almost died. And he's like, but you didn't. So all right, so we cut straight from that to the power plant. So this episode is just bam, 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 bam. Every single scene has something that's going on in it, and I like it because it's fast paced. And these are the type of episodes that I kind of like. I mean, sometimes I think they go a little too fast, but this just makes sense.
So I want to point something out about this scene as they're walking into the power plant,
Okay.
and it makes no difference to anybody, and nobody probably noticed it until I said something. And if they're watching it with us, they probably said, "No shit." They walk in and exit.
Do they?
Yeah.
I'm gonna. Yeah, they do. But that's the front of well, yeah, that's the front of the damn building. They do walk in through an exit. Wow, ain't that some shit? All
Makes no difference to anybody, but I noticed it, so you have to notice it.
right. He's like, if I'm gonna be irritated by this, you're gonna be irritated by this. They're at the front of the building, and as soon as they walk in, it says exit.
Exit.
So,
So yeah, it's nobody. It's much like the town itself. It's a complete ghost town. They're walking down the dark corridors. Thankfully, Charmander doesn't have to come out and be a freaking flashlight.
yes, and then we get a glimpse of up in
Air,
the
air
pi-
ducts.
air ducts. Something is crawling through the air ducts, and
Right.
then after that, Misty gets scared by the Magnemite going behind her creepily in the shadows.
I don't like this particular shot of Misty at 8:30. Well, like anywhere from like 8:35 to 8:37, because you can see just how short her shorts actually are, and I didn't appreciate it.
What do you mean?
Well, you could just like because she's standing bolt upright, and you can see A how skinny she is, and B just how, and I just didn't appreciate it.
She has boobs.
And unfortunately, not much of an ass.
No. So all right. Let's go forward. So it's at this point that Ash, of course, has dog Misty because Misty gives Ash a lot of shit half the time. So Misty gets scared, and Ash just goes, "Well, if you're too scared to go along, me and Brock are men." So, so, so we'll continue without you, Misty. You could just stay outside. And Misty just has none of that. She's like, really? You're no you're no bigger of a man than I am, basically.
And it's at this point because obviously Ash is focused on Misty, so he's turned the opposite direction. the same thing that just passed by Misty gets behind Ash, and Brock and Misty see it, so they start freaking out. And then Ash gets freaked out, so he looks slowly, and he doesn't see anything, so he gets mad at first, but then he's like,
If
if
you're,
anybody's out there, say something. But if you're a monster, you can just keep to yourself. And then Misty gets on his shit again.
she's like, oh, I thought you were a man. And he's like, yeah, well, that's suggested. Pikachu
But then
starts freaking out.
right. So and once again, everybody else is looking the opposite way because they're all looking the way Ash is looking. So they're sitting there going, "Shh, quiet, Pikachu. You don't want to draw attention to yourself." And Pikachu's like, there's something behind me. Shut up."
And this
So
is,
they
oh, I'm sorry.
so this is where we turn around and we actually see what it is. And, this is where you'd probably expect me to dog on old Ash for bringing out Dexter. But I think I might give him a pass in this instance because he's been petrified for it for about 10 minutes now.
Yes. And this is also the spot where we get the Who's That Pokemon that we didn't announce at the beginning of the episode, which I need to get better at that. But it's Magnemite, everybody. I
It
mean,
fucking better well be. Its name is in the goddamn episode.
so all right. But yes, so Magnemite's there, and then Dexter goes and says that Magnemite, the magnet Pokemon.
And it's unknown why it's floating. So I was like, okay, what are we really telling each other?
Yes.
And so Ash's instinct as a trainer is, well, I'm going to catch it.
But it
And
starts dancing around Pikachu.
And yeah, it just kind of it orbits Pikachu, and then for whatever reason, a goddamn magnet can blush. Like I don't think I appreciated that too much.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a Pokemon.
But it's a magnet.
Yes, but it's a Pokemon.
Well, but like Brock says, he would understand it if it was another animal. But this is it's a non something or other. I can't.
Yeah, it's a Pokemon, but it's not a living, like,
Like
can
it's an
inanimate object.
yeah.
There you go. But can a Magnemite eat?
Well,
Because
electric current, I would think.
in Pokemon Go, I can feed my Magnemite berries.
Well, but they weren't anticipating Pokemon Go in 1998.
True. True that. True. Touche.
So,
But Pikachu is trying to get away from this damn Magnemite. Pikachu feels like complete shit. And I'm sorry, but Pikachu should have stayed at the damn Pokemon Center.
yeah, I was gonna say I feel bad for Pikachu, but then in the very next breath, I don't really.
But Pikachu is literally running in circles around the trio and
It ducks behind Ash's leg, and then Ash goes, "Hey, cut
leave
the
it
shit,"
alone.
and it backs off. So Ash is like, "I guess I told that Magnemite."
But then after that happens, out of the duck pipes, we get Grimer. Grimer falls out.
Bunch of them.
A bunch of them, and they smell like shit, which plays into a pretty funny joke at the end of this episode. So I can't wait to get to that joke.
So we get the Pokédex entry on Grimer
Yes.
about how it's a pile of sludge and it stinks, which I could have told you that.
But
Um,
but Ash needs to use the Pokédex because Professor Oak gave it to him and said you must use this on every Pokemon that you see. But let's just talk about how Misty's hair stands up and she smells something horrible. That, like, I'm on a freeze frame right now, and that's a funny shot of Misty.
yeah,
Just saying. She's like, it stinks, and then and then they cover her mouth and they go, shut up, they'll hear you. And then big old Muck comes up. It's like Muck.
and then we get a pretty decent kind of throwaway line from Misty. Grimer's grandpa?
So now, of course, Muck comes up, and Ash is like, "Oh, well, that one looks different than the other one, so let's pull out Dexter again."
If anything else, it's bigger.
Yeah.
So, and I have a once again a minor question.
Okay.
because obviously, the smell intensifies when Muck comes out,
Yes.
and everybody's holding their nose, and Pikachu is holding its nose.
Yes.
Now, should this affect Pikachu on account of he's sick?
Well, the fact that we find out, I mean, we're kind of fast forwarding. We find out that it's not a code that Pikachu has, so I would think so. Yes, Pikachu can still smell.
Well,
The line under its nose is just a factor of Pikachu's not feeling well. Pikachu seems drunk.
well, you keep saying that. I really don't think that's fair to old Pikachu's character. Um,
But it is
so
it is at this point that they piss off the Grimer and the Muck so much that Grimer and Muck start to chase them, and they are running for their fucking lives.
so they're running, and they turn a corner, and they run smack into the two watchmen who are also at the power plant.
Yes.
And they say, what are you doing here? And then, around the corner comes Pikachu being chased by the Grimer.
And Brock is trying to say, well, we're being chased by these Pokemon. We're trying to find out what's going on with the power.
And then that's when the Grimer turned the corner as well. And one of the guards goes, oh, shit, the Grimer in here as well.
And let's point out that one of the guys that works there accidentally drops a flashlight, and as they're running, the Grimer run over the flashlight, but they're so smelly and sticky and yuck that it gets stuck inside of one of the Grimer. So one of the
Yeah.
Grimer now has a flashlight inside of it.
And we'll never see it again.
No.
Um, so they all run from the Grimer, and they end up running into the control room, which is obviously where the two guards started the evening.
Yes, and Ash has enough nerve to basically sit here and go, "What the hell is going on in
Yeah, like
here?"
such a dick.
And where's all the power? And the guards are basically like, "We don't know what's going on." And we're guessing that something is blocking the current for the city.
And one of them says, "Well, you're Pokemon trainers, right? Use your Pokemon to help us fight through the Grimer."
So,
And
and then we go straight from that to Nurse Joy inside of the Pokemon Center, looking over all of the sick Pokemon. Finally, she doesn't seem like the oddball of all the Nurse Joys, and she's like, I hope they get the power back on soon, because basically what they're alluding to is if the power does not come back on, these dozens of Pokemon are going to die.
going to die, which I don't know why they couldn't just come out and say it. They said it during the Charmander episode.
You know, let's pause frame here for like 2 minutes, or maybe less than that, Doug. But why is death such a theme in this first season? I feel like every episode or every other episode, we're getting a hint of death. Like they're making it known. Pokemon can die.
Because they want to hit you over the head so that lazy parents that don't want to have the discussion can just put on an episode before they go to school. They
And
can hear about a Pokemon dying, and then they can have conversations with their friends at lunch. And then they ask one of the teachers, they like, "What's death?" And then the teacher has to write a note, and then the parents still have to have the discussion anyway.
yes, all right,
It's
good
a
enough.
it's a vicious cycle.
A very vicious cycle.
So we cut back to the control room of the power plant, where the Grimer are basically catapulting themselves at the wall at the door.
Yes. So there's a lot more Grimers coming in. So the scene that we saw at the beginning of the episode was just the beginning of the Grimer going in. They're still pushing their slimy way into this into the um control center, blocking this electric current from going on.
Right.
So
So this is where one of the guards says, "Well, use your Pokemon, your trainers." And Pikachu does the brave, stupid babyface thing of stepping up and shocking one of the Grimer.
but it doesn't really affect them too much because they absorb the electricity.
Right, and then there's like three other ones that rise up behind it, including a muck, and they're like, "Oh shit, shit's about to go down, and this room is too cramped." But it's about that time another vent opens,
And a bunch of Magnemite and Magneton fly out.
and then they form a barrier in front of Pikachu, and they use their electric attacks to shock the lot of them.
And
And
it's working because as soon as they shock all of these Grimer and Muck, we can't forget about Muck.
oh,
Um, they start like shocking them and pushing these Grimer and Muck out of the sewage system, which, okay, and this is so fucking stupid, but it is what it is. So we find out the electricity in the city is run by water.
right, it's a hydroelectric setup.
Yes. So when the Grimer went into the sewage system, the water cannot penetrate the Grimer and the muck.
Right,
So as the Magnemite and Magneton are shocking the Grimer, it's scaring off the Grimer. So the Grimer run out of the building, then letting the water flow back into the building. And as soon as the water is flowing back into the building, the generator starts powering back up. And before we know it, the entire city is now back and running.
right,
Wow, that was a lot, but we're we're an audio podcast, everybody, so we have to paint that picture for you.
right. So, everything seems to be in working order, everybody's happy, and then we realize, oh shit, Muck is still here.
Yes.
And for some reason, we just ignored the big fucking giant Muck in the room for like 2 minutes.
Yes. Because the fucking Magnemite and Magneton was fucking shocking. Where the fuck was Muck?
He must have been right up against like the back wall or something.
Yeah, because he just came around and was like, I'm still here. But how weak is this damn Muck? Because of course, the Magnemite that is attracted to Pikachu, which, I mean, spoiler everybody, that's the reason it was following Pikachu, um, comes out and sees Muck and fucking shocks it because Pikachu's shock wasn't strong enough. So Magnemite does his Thunderbolt on Muck, then hurting Muck. But a fucking Magnemite? Magnemite's not even evolved yet. And Muck is evolved. So the Thunderbolt or this Magnemite must be a really high level Magnemite or be pretty fucking strong to take on this Muck.
I'm gonna say that the Muck was weak in that it realized it was Muck and it had enough Grimers around it to do the heavy lifting, and Muck could just kind of rest on its laurels, kind of like, I'm Muck, I'm the bad motherfucker. Nobody's gonna fucking get to me, so I don't have to be strong
Yes.
because I've got 30,000
Grimers.
underlings. Yeah.
Yes.
So
But
so
Doug,
yeah.
what and I'm gonna let you go over this next part. So what the fuck does Ash do, Doug?
Well, you see, he's an inconsistent Pokemon trainer, but he does remember every now and again that he is a Pokemon trainer. So after Magnemite and Pikachu have combined to wear down this Muck, he throws a Pokeball. Because why would he capture a freaking Grimer and evolve it? No, no, no. He's just going to jump right to the evolution,
Fucking get mucked.
and he catches it because we've established it's basically a giant pile of Play-Doh, and he's happy. He's like, I caught a Muck. Well, apparently though, smell can permeate Pokeballs,
Yes.
which is ridiculous.
Yeah, apparently a Pokeball is not fully sealed for some odd reason. So as soon as he catches Muck, Misty, Brock, and the electricians in the background, I'm going to call them electricians. I don't know what else to call them. The workmen. They're all holding their nose, going, "That Pokeball stinks."
And then Ash has to have the obvious line of, the smell is coming through the Pokeball.
Yeah, when they get out, like he didn't see the damn, or it didn't smell the damn Pokeball when he was holding it the whole time inside of the building. No, he just smells it once they get outside.
And then we see the Magnemite is still there, and we see Pikachu is feeling better, and Ash thanks Magnemite for its help. Magnemite floats down to Pikachu's level. Pikachu's willing to,
Give
give it a hug. Pikachu, Magnemite wants absolutely nothing to do with Pikachu, so we've got kind of a role reversal.
and it's explained that with everything going on inside of the city, that when Pikachu was sick, it got some type of special electrical current through its body, which attracted the Magnemite to him because they're both electric Pokemon. But now that Pikachu is better and the town is getting back to normal, it's not fully normal yet, but it's
Right.
getting there. Magnemite does not want anything to do with Pikachu anymore because it doesn't have that special current anymore.
And you get it? Freaking attraction and magnets and all that shit.
Yes,
Yeah.
I get it.
So then, we think we're gonna wrap up the episode with a nice sappy moment, but then for some odd reason, with 4 minutes left in the episode, we see the reemergence of the Gyarados submarine from Team Rocket.
And they have a big ass magnet attached to the submarine, which
And
they turn on and they get all the Magnemite and Magneton, and that's on the island. That's a lot of fucking Magnemite and Magneton.
that's a crap ton to be technical. And I mean, everything, like within a certain mile radius, just goes flunk, and obviously all that metal
It's
is
too
gonna.
heavy for the submarine, so it sinks Team Rocket, and Team Rocket is done for the rest of the episode.
So Team Rocket is done, but what happens to the goddamn Magnemite and Magneton?
I'm sure as they were sinking, Meowth undid the button and all the Magnemite floated away.
Or just by virtue of it being underwater, the magnetism ceases to work.
Yes. Well, that doesn't really work because we learned in science in high school, magnets still work underwater.
Ah, shit. Ah, damn it. Son
Science.
of a bitch.
So we go straight from that to the town thanking the trio for helping them, but Misty comes out and says, "Well, we're glad we were able to help you, but this city is far from being saved. You guys need to clean up all of that water and stop polluting the air. And once you guys stop doing that, this city will come back to life again."
Total fucking Earth Day message, and it's not even April.
I know. So it's
So, and just when you think that's the ending,
they're walking away. The announcer guy comes on the air and goes, basically, "We have an extra scene for you."
and we go back to Pallet Town to Professor Oak's lab, and he's getting the transmission of Ash's latest capture, and he says, "Oh boy."
I haven't gotten one of these in a long time, but I'm gonna stop right here real quick, okay? And I
Mm-hmm.
want everybody to, if they have the chance, look up this clip. And it's the ending of the episode, so it's the last like 10, 15 seconds of the episode. But look at the animation on Professor Oak's mouth as he is animated in this scene. They did an awful job mixing the voice with the cartoon. Like, I think this is one of the worst because it just jumped out at me like, wow, they animated the last 10, 15 seconds of this episode really bad. Because as Professor Oak's talking,
Oh wow.
it does not match up to the audio.
It's like his mouth is moving in slow motion.
Yeah. So I was watching this on Disney Now. So that's how I was originally watching this episode again, outside of the DVDs that I have. It was just convenient. But yeah, it's just he's getting the Pokeball and hit the animation's just horrible. I was like, what the fuck?
So, and then, the Pokeball comes through the transmitter and it opens itself, which, okay, that's, whatever. And, we don't see Muck, but we see Professor Oak's reaction, so we know it stinks. And I mean, I think he even says as the episode fades to black, "This stinks."
Yes. And he said, "What the hell is the idea of sending me a muck? Yuck."
So, so Ash has
The
a
last laugh.
Krabby and a Muck that he's not doing nothing with.
Well, would you want to walk around with a muck that smells all damn day?
Apparently not.
So I'm really curious to find out what Professor Oak did with his. Actually, no, we find out in a later episode he found a way to get the smell to go away out of muck.
But you'll have to stick around for that.
Yes, because muck that's not the last time we see muck. We actually see muck a few more times in a few more episodes. So
No, of course, because Muck sticks around.
yes, it's Krabby that we don't get to see that often.
Right.
But yeah, that's episode 30, Doug.
Yeah. An episode like you said earlier that moves kind of quick, but not too quick. Doesn't get bogged down in a B plot, which is nice. A very one-off town.
It took us exactly 20 minutes. Exactly 20 minutes to go over that episode. I mean, not 20 minutes, 40 minutes.
Which is pretty damn good.
Yeah. Fucking 40 minutes to go over a 20-minute episode. Yeah, we did a good job. Good job, Doug. High five. Virtual.
All right.
So, all right. As you were saying, Doug?
No, I mean this was just it was a good episode, a good one-off episode. Interesting setting in in the town whose name I automatically forgotten.
Uh, Graham Town or fuck, I'd have to go back, but if I go back, we're gonna get caught with an audio clip. So
No, we're not gonna go back. I'm just gonna look it up on this PokeWiki real quick.
what is the name of the town? Dougie Fresh.
Gringy.
Gringy.
At Gringy City. Yeah. A very, very one off setting. They made the issue with the city very apparent from
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 Jump.
the from the jump exactly. Misty was a little bit on her high horse at the end, which is kind of ridiculous. As she's walking away. But yeah, I mean, Ash gets a Pokemon. You know,
A nice Pokemon. Which I mean, realistically, once the smell goes away, you can use Muck in quite a few different instances.
oh yeah, because I mean, let's not forget it is evolved.
Yes. You just need to train it, Ash. Or, but I mean, I guess he has his favorite Pokemon. So if I was Ash's Pokemon, I'd be mad.
I think so. Especially if I'm crabby, if I'm honest with you.
Yes. So like, why don't you want to use me? Why don't you want me?
Well, you fucking caught me.
So, but to be honest, he caught him out of spite because he wanted to beat Gary, so he caught him out of spite.
Well,
So,
maybe I don't. That's
but
a whole nother discussion.
yeah, that's a whole different discussion. But all right, well, I think we're good, Doug.
Yeah,
So
I'm very happy with this episode.
I'm very happy as well. So keep hitting that subscribe button, everybody. Um, keep listening to these episodes. Let's get these episodes listened to. Tell your friends to tell their friends to tell their cousins and their friends about EPEEP, the Every Pokemon Episode Ever podcast. And let's get up there. Like I hope. I mean, I'm sure right now as we stand, we're pretty popular in the Pokemon community, but let's let's be more popular. Let's make 2021 our year. So
I like how you had to pause and think about it.
yeah, so I was like, wait a minute, this is not going out in 2020. So All right, everybody. Do you have anything else to add, Doug?
No, I'm just gonna say that I'm very excited about next week's episode.
Yes, I am too. So we have our good old friend JP coming on and being a special guest on next week's episode. And next week's episode is called Dig Those Diglet, or translated from Japanese, full of digga. Did, wow, I can't even say it. Digda.
Yeah, give me the English on this one.
Yeah, dig those digs. So, all right. Well, if you don't have anything else to say, Doug, go ahead and give your own goodbye, Doug.
Bye, Doug.
And this is Wrestling Chris G telling all of you to please tune in next week because we do have our second special guest of this series, and you don't want to miss it. Have a good night, everybody.